Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Joel, and this is A Stable Life.
It's another beautiful early morning. In fact, it's the exact next morning from the most recent video.
Oh, let me tell you guys, that was a fun day. And by fun day, I mean that was not a fun day. And today I have a feeling is going to be probably suspiciously similar. Today is Wednesday, which I have designated Hoof Day. We have 14 horses' hooves that we have to look at today. As one would imagine, that's going to take quite a lot of time. And we also have a lot of work to do on the farm. Goal for today on the farm is to get the potato digger fixed and to dig potatoes. Sounds pretty straightforward, but exactly how much potatoes will get dug is, well, up in the air. On the good side of things, we have the potential to finish potatoes today. On the not so good side of things, we may only get 4 rows of potatoes dug today and a lot of frustration with trying to fix a piece of machinery. But you guys are going to be along for the ride. We're going to see what happens. As for the horses, we have had no rain for a little bit of time and things are looking really good for our stable.
As you guys have seen, the horses have been coming in and we've gotten the limping from 10 horses down to 2. And that is phenomenal. We are very happy about that.
And that's why we have Hoof Day. Hoof Day is very important to our horses' health because it's that one day a week where the horses get hoof hardener put on normally, even if they're not limping. And we check the bottom of their hooves to make sure that there's no new abscesses forming, no thrush forming, no scratches on their legs. It's an intensive day, and it's an important one, that's for sure.
But to get started, I need to get hay in the stalls, grain in the stalls.
I can already see the horses are making their way up to the gate because they hear me talking in here. So that's comforting to know. Let's see how they look coming in.
The reason I just turned the camera on is I was putting hay in the stalls
And you can hear the coyotes howling down in the hollow.
all the horses are completely fine. Coyotes come through this area all the time and they don't really bother the horses at all. I was just hoping to get a coyote howl on camera. And I know the second I turn this camera off, no howl. That is definitely something that is creepy to hear first thing in the morning. On another note, look how beautiful. We got the sunrise, the horses are coming up. Oh, that's pretty.
Sunrises really are gorgeous. If you only ever see the sunsets, you're missing half the beauty of the day. Got to get out there and see those sunrises. Well, good morning, good morning.
Well, I don't think I could give you guys a better good morning than that. Everybody said hello. Yeah, hey Rocky, hey Buster. Oh yeah, look at the cuties. Hey Obi. There you go, gentlemen. Oh yeah, look at their furry winter coats coming in, huh? Oh my goodness. Wow, Buster, you just got tackled. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys can't imagine how fluffy they are now. They're very fluffy. But what I'm feeling for is how their body weight's looking. It's okay, Rocky. Yeah, they're actually feeling pretty good. Yeah, they're feeling pretty good. Just making sure if we need to make any changes to their hay schedule or their grain. You gotta look for things like that. Same with the horses. When they all have blankets on, you gotta take a closer examination of their body weight from time to time because you don't really see because the blankets cover everything. So you gotta take your hand and feel, especially in the winter when their weight can shift very quickly. Looks like the horses are really enjoying those round bales. Well, we got a nice big group here, all except for Rebel. Hello and good morning, Roni. Walking beautifully, looking good. Hello and good morning, William. Also the same. Hello and good morning, Zach. A very, very slight limp, so very much better than he was. Hello and good morning, Champ. He has some arthritis, so that's why he's a little hesitant. Hello and good morning, George. Looking good. And Rebel's on his way. Good stuff. Good stuff. So some of the horses here just got that hoof hardener today. Most of them are looking great. So that's good to see. Okay, guys, you're next. Got the water running because our water trough was low this morning. They got a lot of water out of it yesterday. Yeah. Well, where'd they all go? Yeah, good morning, Poncho. See how everyone's looking. Looking good. Everyone's looking really good. Here comes Samson, Declan, Casino, and Archer. I'm trying to figure out which one that is. I can't make out what horse that is right now, actually. Might be Spitfire. Yeah. Yep, that's right. That's Spitfire. Well, good news, guys. After an hour and a half of going through and taking care of hoof care, all the horses are looking pretty good. Shaped them up nice. The horses that we currently every single week are putting hoof hardener on, and then we're also putting Durasol and Copper Tox on, are Argento, Skywalker, Casino, Weather, Duke, Tucker, Jack, Gavin, Declan, George, Archer, and Suede. Yeah, I know, a lot of horses, but we found that a lot of the horses had really soft hooves. If it continues to go the way that it is going, we've just been getting wetter and wetter and wetter with really random, long, dry spots when we need the rain. Basically no balance. And so we're trying to give the horses everything they can to deal with that no balance. And that does include structures and buildings, but we'll talk about that in future videos. For now, let's let these guys out, give them a drink, and let them enjoy a beautiful day in northeastern Pennsylvania. Oh, I suppose we'll find out who did that soon. Well, just like that, all the horses are out. Honestly, guys, this is probably one of my favorite things when I'm feeding horses is I finished feeding and I just see them all out there enjoying the food that we've worked so hard for them to get. It's neat knowing that they're eating hay that we baled back in June, and it's just as dry as the day that we put it in that wrap, and it's been out in one of the wettest summers that we've ever had. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Ah, good stuff. All right, well, it is now 9:22, so that took us about 3 hours. So let's head on over and get started with the next avenue of work on the farm. Well, never short of drama over here. The cows broke into the chicken pen and the chickens all got out, so we were corralling chickens, but that's done now. So now we're feeding cows. Leia wanted to be very helpful, but chasing chickens is something that she really enjoys, and it wasn't very helpful. It was more just, you know, utter chaos. So we had to put her in the tractor cab. You want me to pull forward, or is that good? Okay. So now we're getting started feeding cows, and we got the 100, because it's the only tractor not hooked to anything. The 110's hooked to the big digger, the 130's hooked to the windrower, and this is the potato wagon. Speaking of, I need to fill the potato wagon up with diesel. Leia likes riding in the 100. It's got one of the biggest cabs, so it gives her a nice amount of room. All right, we're gonna put our revs up a little bit. That was a lot. That came out quick. Interesting. Okay, we now have a different wagon put on, the 100. This is the potato wagon. You'll recognize this from last video. Full of yellow potatoes. We have to unload this before we get started on however we're getting the next group of potatoes out of the ground. But we've got a little bit to do. You guys remember we dug red first, so we got to get red processed and washed, and then we got to get all the machinery set up to handle this amount of potatoes here. So the potato storage, which is this area directly underneath the store, is where everything's going to be happening. So all those potatoes that you guys see harvested are all going to be run through this washer, this sorter, this hopper bin. After they pass through that, they make their way onto this machine, which sorts size. Small ones go here, larger ones go there, and then into this machine here, which of course washes them, dumps them into a bin where they are then stacked. However, one thing that's of interesting to note is that potatoes keep better when they are dirty. So that means that they will not all be washed today. In fact, I think we're only washing like one bin of each today. And then after they're washed, we are going to take the sorter, we're gonna take the washer out of the equation and then just use the sorter. And so then right here, they'll go into a bin where they are then stored dirty. And then when they need the potatoes, they'll take the bin of dirty potatoes and run them through the washer so that they're ready for the store. Otherwise, not all the potatoes would keep, and all of the work that we've done to get the potatoes in here would have been for nothing. Wouldn't that be great, huh?
All right, well, this brings an end to the time lapse. The wagon is empty. So as for handling the potatoes, all of that is ready. Sadly though, it ended up taking the entire morning processing and handling all the potatoes dug yesterday that we still haven't managed to get the digger fixed. And it's midday, which means the afternoon is going to be very interesting. From what I've been told, the plan is we are going to take one shot. That is it. One shot at fixing the digger. We will get it fixed today, and then we will run the digger. And if the digger breaks again, the rest of the potatoes are being dug by hand. And that's what I was told. The idea is, instead of taking time and using it to fix the digger, which does take time, sometimes upwards of 4 or 5 hours, could use that time to just pick up the potatoes off the ground and get the crop out of the way.
Hand grass better, you can probably spread oats out with those. Oh, you can. I've done it. You've done it.
What's for lunch, Daniel?
Let's chew it. Let's chew it.
Bottle of water.
Sausage.
Lunch was very good, as you guys saw. So that takes us over to fixing the digger time. We've got the parts, we've got the replacement belt, not for the whole system, but like a patch belt. Tools, we even got a generator on the off chance that we need to run power tools out there to fix it. So we're hoping that we have everything that we need. And they have me bringing the tractor and the wagon down. So we're full of a lot of hope. We are. But, oh guys, you're gonna see me really upset if that thing breaks. I really hope it doesn't break. I'm gonna do my best to fix it so it won't break. Yeah, let's do that, huh? Let's go see how things look.
Last video we kind of jumped right into harvesting potatoes. We didn't really give you an explanation about how the machine works. First off, everything is controlled from up in the cab of the tractor. We have our box here that helps to run all of our conveyors. It also will lift up and drop down anything we need to. A bulk of the harvest can be done by this machine right here. If we just get everything working correctly, it makes it easier on every guy that's working on the back. Now this machine is also PTO driven, so everything runs by means of the PTO. Starting off here at the beginning, we have a little disc unit that digs into the soils, and then the main belt pulls all of the material up into the digger. The material that is on the main belt continues to follow the conveyors up into this section. This is where our first separation happens. We can see we got a top layer and a lower layer. The plant debris will stay on the top, preventing it from clogging up anything else. And then once the plant debris goes over the top, we have 2 rollers here that will pull off any potatoes. So we're not gonna lose anything that rolls out the back. The material then continues to follow some other conveyors. Now we got rocks, we got soil, we got potatoes. But this section right here starts to break up some of those dirt clumps. We have rollers on the bottom, and we also have more conveyor on top. And then it drops down into this little hopper area. You can see some rocks and potatoes in there. This is where more of those dirt clumps are broken up. But anything that is not broken up follows into our fan housing. Now our fan is turning at a high RPM, and the reason for that is because it's pulling material off of the belt that goes onto the rock side. So when the fan runs high enough, it pulls the potatoes onto this conveyor, and essentially that's how it works. That's why you have so many guys on the back. If the machine is not adjusted correctly, well, you run the risk of losing potatoes off the rock side, or you run the risk of having dirt, rocks, and other debris follow up into our wagon. So the main point here is we just want potatoes going into the wagon. We don't want to lose any potatoes back into the field. And if we have to deal with some rocks or other debris, well then that's not a problem. But yeah, we were thinking about it. Joel had mentioned he didn't get an opportunity in his last video to share with you guys how this thing works. So we felt like it was a good time to do that.
Well, the good news is the belt is fixed. If you can see that section right there on the left, I'll zoom in it on editing software, but you can see that is all patched and ready. The problem is that this digger has a computerized leveling system from this box, and this was parked in the cow pasture, so we currently don't have access to the computer. Will this get fixed? Probably. But for now, it is too far down on one side, too high up on the other, which means that while we're digging potatoes, you get a lot of tension on this side. That uneven tension is what rips the belt. So we have to kind of think outside the box to make sure that we're working around that problem so that the belt doesn't break and allows us to make sure that we've got fresh taters coming out the belt. Let's do it. Fire up the engine, Andrew.
Oh, I'm going. I'll start it, Matt. Let me start it. Let me start it. Put that button over and count to 30 first. I already dug the potatoes. I don't know what we're worried about.
Everyone's excited, Daniel. You know that.
Daniel and Joel are like, I'm ready to get back in my tractor. Hope the air conditioning's still working.
You guys hear what I go through on a daily basis here?
The air conditioner's working. Andrew's back hurts.
I'll have you know, the air conditioning is working great this time of year.
Joel, calm down. I'm heating up the engine.
Yeah, fire it up.
I'm trying to count to 30. I can't do that when you're talking to me. I think this sounds good. Daniel, take this hammer.
There we are. Exciting times. Well, guys, I hope this works. A little bit more, you're close.
Okay, it's down here at the bottom.
A little bit more. Oh, right there, we're perfect. Well, look at that. Completely different area.
Hey, our patch held.
Our patch held, where is our patch? I want to see it in its glory. Does it look good? Nothing damaged about it at all, Pete? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, pretty good. I'm glad you guys did as much as you did with the bolts. Yeah. It looks great. The front one, the belt ripped off of because it didn't have a lot of room in front of it.
Okay.
So.
Is that where it ripped at?
No.
Oh.
Where we patched it is perfect. It's great. This is a completely different area.
Did it already come apart?
Yep. We're professionals at fixing belts now. Right, Brian?
Are we going to triple it again?
I think triple and it's the best course.
Probably the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. That's fixed. For now. I can't believe it broke in a different spot. That's crazy. And we're heading to the rocky part of the field. So if we make it through this part, we might be okay. We might be. If I keep my eyes peeled, I think you can actually see where the patch is. Yep, there's one. And there's the other. Oh, that's crazy. There it is, guys. Once we hit there, that's 4 rows of potatoes we didn't have to pick up. So that's awesome. Well, I'd say we probably made it about 100 feet. We got a new problem.
Now what do we do about this?
We dug up a piece of metal and got caught in the conveyors.
Oh, I see it.
We're working on getting it out. Here's part of it. Use the grinder to grind it half. You can turn that off, Matt.
Got it.
There we are.
That's the hot end.
So that's the culprit. Only problem is that it looks like it bent one of the pulleys. Okay, now that that's fixed, let's finish the row. Well, guys, it's official. We just dug 4 rows of potatoes. And when I say a row, I mean a singular row of potatoes. So Daniel is putting 2 together. That's exciting for us. We're gonna do the next 4 rows. We'll see how long that takes us and how many breakdowns we have and what happens. I think everyone is just about at their wit's end. Remember I said at the beginning that if this thing breaks once, that we're picking them all up by hand. Well, it broke and everyone was actually feeling pretty good. So we fixed it. I think it really depends on the type of break. If a pulley goes or a weld busts, then we're done. If the belt breaks and we're able to fix it, then we might keep going. Only time will tell. I don't know how much longer we're gonna work on this today before we kind of come back when cooler heads are available. I think everybody's okay, but at the same point in time, it's been a long day. So we'll see how much further we go with this, but the wagon is almost half full, so I don't know. That also contributes. And I still have to feed horses this afternoon, so exciting stuff, guys, exciting stuff. But when everything's working, man, this is cool. This is nice.
Well, the wagon's definitely got a nice amount of potatoes in it. Give you guys an update. It broke again. That piece of metal, there was a weld, and it didn't look factory. It looked like it was before we got it. Bent the pulley, and we were thinking that it was okay, but it wasn't. It snapped the pulley right off. So Brian is gonna take this big piece of machinery back. He's gonna clean off the metal and attempt to re-weld a pulley on it. The rest of the guys are going to get started picking up the potatoes that are dug by hand. Because the temperature at night is so low, they have to make sure all the potatoes that are dug are picked up. So that means when Daniel goes through with the windrower and digs them up, either this machine gets them or we have to get them by hand. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. So that leads to how come I'm on the machinery? Well, it's 3 o'clock and that is the time that we feed horses. I can feed as late as 6 with our horses. You know, I never like to because that means I'm not getting away from the stable till 7, 7:30, sometimes even 8 o'clock if there's an issue. So I'm going to get a ride back home with Brian on the digger. Daniel is going home to make sure that Brian has help with welding the pulley. They are going to pick up potatoes by hand, and I'm going to go feed horses. So hopefully by the time I'm done feeding, this is fixed and we are able to reconvene. I really don't know. This might be it for the day. They might pick that up and then that'll be that. And then we'll start tomorrow and try to do another 4 rows or 8 rows. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But we knew today was going to be rough, and it is. But I think everybody's actually got a pretty good attitude about it. No one's happy, rightfully so, but we got good attitudes. That's what matters. All right, let's get started feeding horses. Oh, that's comforting. Well, I hope that there are any drivers that are coming down the road or going the speed limit and are keeping their eyes peeled, because there's no room for anything. There's the right tire, and the left tire is on the other side of the road. Oh, we look clear. This thing is huge. So we're down here feeding horses. Look who's helping us. Pete, don't tell me you like horses too now, don't you?
Of course I like horses.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like horses?
That's a very good statement. You said you want to get Clydesdales?
Yeah.
Well, Pete is here helping me feed horses. He didn't really feel too useful up there while they're welding the pulley on. So he thought that he could best help by helping me feed, which helps us get to taking care of the horses quicker, more efficient. That means that I'm able to finish feeding horses and help them, so all of us are able to get faster. Mega match, that's right. So Pete is helping measure out right now, and I'm doing the supplements. I just thought you guys would like to see Pete measuring out the grain. Good job, Pete. I just weighed. What's up, good looking? So Pete and I literally just finished feeding horses. Like, we just left and they just finished this. It is fixed. They got the weld done. So we're heading back out to the field and we're going till she breaks. That's the plan. So we might be doing this for 10 minutes. We might be doing this till the wagon's full. Time will tell. Well, all right, we're back out in the potato field. Daniel and Andrew, they are the MVPs of today, because while Matthew and Brian were fixing the digger, Petey and I were feeding horses, they picked up that rest of that row entirely by hand. The legends. There's them right now. They're dumping the potatoes in the skid steer, and then they dump that in the wagon. Daniel is getting started digging the next row that the digger is going to be going through. I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. This is crazy. The irony, it broke again. Right there. We had just finished the row. I mean, everything was going smooth, and yeah, both of our patches ripped. It got jammed on the front end, which just the pressure came back on the patches, and you know, it's just because we have rocky fields. Now, the nice thing about the rocky fields is that as we dig through them, we get all the rocks, and then we come through with a rock picker and all the rocks get out of the field, and then that field is just beautiful. In time, probably when I'm 50, we won't have rocky fields, but until then, you know. So where does that leave us? Well, we've got a giant wagon full of potatoes here that we'll have to process tomorrow. That's exciting. And then we have 10 rows, 10 singular rows of potatoes. And everyone has made the choice that we're just gonna pick them up by hand. So that's what I get to look forward to tomorrow. Picking all these up by hand, because the crop is actually pretty good this year. Thankfully, that's not tonight. We're done. It's been a whirlwind of a day. I'm kind of thankful that it's over. I'm gonna go home, enjoy some dinner. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this roller coaster of a day. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.